So this is my Death Guard army. Now, if there's a local tournament going on, and I'm not sure what's happening with it, I'll grab my box here with all my Death Guard pieces in it. I'll grab the smaller box of my Alpha Spearhead units, and then my third box with my dice, my command point tokens, and my cards. I'll grab these boxes, I'll go to the shop. From here, I can build different types of armies just with this one box I got here. And what I'm going to show you first is a Death Guard Plague Marine Heavy army at 2,000 points. And it starts with a squad of Plague Marines here with the champion. The champion has the Plague Sword and a Power Fist, and then it has 6 other Marines. One is a Mace of Contagion, the Bubonic Axe. Another one's the Flail of Corruption, and then the rest have a second Plague Knife, so they have 2 Plague Knife weapons. Because when you give a Marine equipped with 2 Plague Knives or a Plague Knife Bubonic Axe, it's the Vectors of Death and Disease. He has an attack characteristic of 2 instead of 1. So this one is vetted out to be hand-to-hand. They go inside the Rhino, and even though the Rhino will probably be targeted and get hit, the Rhino will still be able to get him up somewhat up the battlefield, because we want to get them up the battlefield as fast as possible. You know, their Plague Marines are real durable, right? With their disgustingly resilient save of a 5. Now the second squad will come out with bolt guns and just the Plague Knives, but 2 of them will have the Blight Launcher and the Plague Belcher, and these are assault weapons because Death Guard get the inexorable advance for their trait, which is they can advance and fire in assault weapons, and they do not suffer the penalty for moving. And their rapid fire weapons can fire twice at 18 inches out, not 12 when they move. So they're going to move real quick. And then another squad is moving out with bolt guns, the Plague Spewer, and plasma guns. So again, we're playing to their strengths of moving and firing heavy weapons and advancing and being able to fire assault weapons and rapid fire at 18 inches out. Another squad will just be bolt guns and then another plasma gun. And then, of course, with the Plague weapons, you can re-roll wound rolls of 1 with a Plague weapon. So the Marines coming at you here across the board are very good to go at the enemy or take objectives, fight for objectives, and hold them. And like I said, the one that is really heavy on hand-to-hand, I put in the Rhino and try to get to some enemy as fast as I possibly can. And then with my 2 Lord of Contagions that'll be dropping in on turn 2, one of them's my Warlord, and he gets the Warlord trait Arch Contaminator. Reroll all filled wounds rolls when resolving attacks made with a Plague weapon. So the hand-to-hand guys are really going to benefit from him dropping in with them when they're ready to assault. They have a 4-up invulnerable save. They got the Death the False Emperor, you know, the Nurgle's Gift. They can put a mortal wound on enemies. So they have a 2-up save, toughness of 5, 6 wounds. The Lord of Contagion is a very, very effective unit, and that's why I put 2 of them here. They come in and drop and help the squads. So I really like them. And then, of course, I give them the Malignant Plaguecaster, and I like using Blades of Perfection, and which adds 1 to all wound rolls in the fight phase. Furthermore, any wound rolls of 7 inflict a mortal wound on the target in addition to any other damage. And then I like using the Miasma of Pestilence, where your opponent has to subtract 1 off of hit rolls. So unlike the Tzeentch, I don't come out with these guys and smite. They're not here to do that. They're here to make my Marines even stronger. And then remember, the Marines, I also get Hateful Assault. 1 attack are going to get that extra attack if they're carrying 2 hand-to-hand, then Hateful Assault gives them 3. So, again, charging with these guys is what we're looking for. And then using the Demon Prince, of course you guys all know how well he is on his own. He can re-roll the hit rolls of 1. He has the 5-up invulnerable save. And then I pay 1 command point for an extra relic, and I give the supporting plate, which improves the Demon Prince save to a 2. And anytime he passes a saving throw in the fight phase, he gets to roll another dice, and on a 4+ he inflicts a mortal wound on the guy that was fighting him. And I give him also Blades of Perfection, which will help the unit he's with to do more damage, inflict more wounds in the battle. And then there's a second Malignant caster with the Vanguard, putting out Plague Wind and Persistent Vitality, which is adding 1 to a unit's strength and toughness. So I can throw this on the Demon Prince or the infantry fighting. So I really like that one. Again, this whole army is advancing together. And then I have Death Shroud Terminators, which is one of the elite in the Vanguard detachment. Now the Death Shroud Terminators, they drop with my Warlord, the Lord of Contagion. They have 4-up invul saves. They have everything the Death Guard gets. The Disgustingly Resilient, Death to the False Emperor. But they have what is called the Silent Bodyguard. Each time a friendly Death Guard character is hit by a ranged or melee weapon while he's within 3 inches of the bodyguard, on a 2+, one of the Death Shroud intercepts the hit for the character, and the character don't take it. So they're there to keep the Lord of Contagion in the battle as well. You know, with a Strength 5 and Toughness 5 at 2-up saves with a 4-up invulnerable, these guys do pretty good. Now there's only 3 of them, but with these dropping with the Lord of Contagions, with the Marines fighting in hand to hand, it is a very, very tough force to eliminate. And then the Noxious Blightbringer. What that guy, now a lot of people don't like this guy. They'd rather put the Foul Blightspawn. I really don't have a lot of use for the Foul Blightspawn, but this guy, to me, just for the fact that a Death Guard unit within 7 inches of this model gets to roll 2 dice and discard the lowest when determining the advance result. So with my army walking here, I really need this guy. And with a 7-inch range, he can be in range of a couple of squads. So we'll be advancing pretty well across the board with his help. So, like I was saying, I usually keep 3 of these squads together with Lord of Contagion, at least one of them, a Demon Prince nearby. I keep the Death Shroud Terminators there. I mean, this whole unit is advancing as a group, and it's really tough to kill. And then I have the Plague Surgeon and the Blightbringer with them. And the Plague Surgeon I give the relic Fergerous Helm to, which you get to re-roll any Disgustingly Resilient rolls of 1 within 3 inches of this model, but the Fergerous Helm increases it by 3. So now it's within 6 inches. So I like doing that with this guy. And then the real killer here, so as this whole unit, I'll usually advance them on one side of the board, and then on the other side of the board will just be one squad, just to kind of fight for some objective, with my Alpha Legion heavy support on that side shooting. So he either deals with hand-to-hand on one, and then he's got this long-range shooting unit on the other side. But what I really like to put together here is Biologist Purifier. He has the Blight Racks. So you increase the strength and the damage of all blight grenades carried by friendly Death Guard units while they're within 3 inches of this guy. In addition, while a unit is within 3 inches of this model, each wound roll of 6+ made when attacking with a blight grenade inflicts a mortal wound. 3 inches is not bad because I just keep them next to one unit. That entire 7-man unit is allowed to throw a grenade if you pay for the stratagem Blight Bombardment. And it says for 1 command point you can use this stratagem just before a friendly Death Guard unit shoots or fires Overwatch. When resolving that unit shot, every model in that unit that is equipped with the Blight Grenade can throw one instead of only one. So 7 units before they actually charge or melee can throw a D6 grenade, increasing its strength to a 4 and its damage to a 2. Very, very effective. So I really like using that, and you can use this as many times as you want. I mean, with spending the command point, I use it twice, maybe 3 times, but I really like that setup. And then to round out this Death Guard army is an Alpha Spearhead. I like to use that. You'll see it in all my Chaos lists, or almost all of them. It has a Chaos Lord. And this one is a little bit cheaper. My usual ones have 8 las cannons, 2 squads of 8 las cannons, 1 squad of bolters. But I have to come in a little cheaper with this one at 506 to keep it under 2,000. So I only have 6 las cannons. So one squad will have 4, the other squad will have 2 auto cannons and 2 las cannons. And then I put a Mauler Fiend with this one. So again, the Chaos Lord is allowing these Havocs to re-roll their hit rolls of 1. And they're hitting on 3s. Very effective force. So this is on one side of the board, running up with one of my bolt gun Marine squads to just protect my flank, while the right side is really hitting hard with my Marines in the Rhino advancing, the Mauler Fiend advancing, the other units with the Blightbringer advancing as fast as they can. Then the Lord of Contagions are dropping. Remember, the Demon Prince is moving up. We have the Purifier. We have the Surgeon. Everybody's there in this group advancing on the other half of the board. I can hold objectives. I can take objectives. Very durable army. I'm not out there trying to eliminate the enemy or table them. I'm just taking objectives, and I can keep the enemy from getting some. So I like this army. It's a really, really good army. And like I stated in the beginning, all I have to do is grab my Death Guard box with the Alpha box, and then my box with my pieces in it, and I can go to a local shop when I don't know who I'm competing with, what kind of tournament's going on, and I can set up a 2,000 point army. I can make this a 1,750 point army by removing the Demon Prince and the Rhino. It becomes a 1,750 army if that's what they're playing. And then I also have Poxwalkers that I also have in this box. I'm going to show in the next video with Typhus and some other units that, if I choose to, when I show up to a local shop, if I don't feel comfortable playing this Plague Marine heavy unit, I have a Poxwalker Death Guard army made, all ready to go. And I will show you that one in the next video. So my Death Guard setup is pretty versatile. So I like using it, and they're fun to play with.